right, so let's look at this practice page for this 5.NBT. Last time we were looking at the digit 8. This time we're going to be looking at the digit 4. So we want to find the value of the digit 4 in these different numbers, and then we're going to be comparing them just like we did last time, and we're going to use our same sentence frame as well. So taking a look, this time we're looking at the 4. So here's my 4. My 4, here's my thousands, the beginning of my thousands period, so 1,000, 10,000, so we have 40,000. And then here is our 4. What's the value of this 4? Well, we have ones, tens, hundreds. This is 400. Here's my 4 in this number. So here's my thousands period, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 400,000. Here's my digit 4, and we can see it's actually right there in the 1,000s place, so 4,000. And this 4, ooh, we're in another period, we have another comma here, so this is our millions. This one is 4 million. Okay, so that's the values of those 4s. Okay, now we're going to look at the 4 in these ones here. So I'm going to write my sentence frame to help me to do this comparison. So we're going to say the blank in blank, should be the 4 in one number, is blank times the value of the blank in blank, the 4 in our second number. Okay, so let's take a look. So if I have my place value chart, my whiteboard marker, I'm going to write down those numbers. So in my first number, I had 128,461. And then in my second number, it was, oh, we do have the millions. Okay, 1,324,968. Okay, and then we're looking at the 4s. So here's our 4 and here's our 4. And we want to remember, as we go to the left, our numbers get bigger. And when our numbers get bigger, we're multiplying by 10 each time. So 10, 100, 1,000, or 10 and 10 and 10, right? They're bigger. And if we go this way to the right, our numbers get smaller. And as our numbers get smaller, really we're dividing by 10, but we said that really that means that we're multiplying by 1/10. So it would be 1/10, 100th, 1,000th, going back the other way. Okay, so this first 4 here has a value of 400, and our second 4 has a value of 4,000, and 400 is less than 4,000. And because it's less, my first number is less, that means it's smaller. That means I'm going to be using that fraction. I'm going to say it's only one spot away, right? They're only one spot away from each other. So that's going to be 1/10 the value because they're only one spot away from each other. So that's what I'm going to be writing into my sentence frame. So in here, we would say the 4 in this first number here, 128,461 is, and because it was smaller, we have a fraction, and it was just one spot away, 1/10 times the value of the 4 in our second number, 1,324,968. And again, that's because 400 is less than 4,000. So that's why we had that fraction. Now again, I could, If you wanted to, you could put the numbers in the other order. So I could have started with the other number, 1,324,968, and I could have put 128,461. That's where we could say we're comparing two people. We could say one person is smaller than the other person, but if we switch it, one person is taller than the other person. So we want to think about that. We can say it two different ways. And in this case, we're still comparing the 4, but this time our 4 in this one was bigger than the 4 in the second one, because 4,000 is greater than 400. And we would say it is 10 times greater. So we can write it two different ways. All right, let me write my sentence frame down here on our second one. The blank in blank is blank times the value of the blank in blank. Okay, and again, we're looking at this digit 4 in both of these numbers. Okay, so let me look at that first on my place value chart. So I'm going to erase my one from last time. I'm going to keep my little notes at the top to remember my smaller and bigger. That helps me to remember that. And we could even take this out of the plastic sheet and write it on there so it's permanent. That would make things a lot more easier, and we would always have it there. Okay, so I'm going to write down my numbers. So my first one is 42,369, and we're looking at that 4. And our second one is 413,789, and we're still looking at that 4. Oh, we can see that there's still only one away from each other, right? So the first one was 40,000. Our second one was 400,000, but they're only one place value spot away from each other. So that means it would be that 10. So I'd either say it's 10 times or 1/10 times, depending on which number we're going to be writing first, right? If we write the small number first, or the smaller valued number first, then I would be using the fraction. If I use the bigger value one first, then I would be using the whole number, okay, depending on how it's written. Okay, so I'm just going to write in the same order that they wrote it in. So they have this one first. So the 4 in 42,369 is blank times the value of the 4 in 413,789. Okay, and this 4 was 40,000, and the second one was 400,000, and that one was less. And because it was less, that's when we're going to write it as a fraction. And it was only one space away, so it is 1/10 times. But if I were to write it in the other order, and you might choose to do that on your paper, doesn't matter, both of them are correct. So if I had the 4 in 413,789, and I compared it to the 4 in 42,369, in that case we would say 400,000 is greater than 40,000. Gosh, I'd rather have $400,000 than 40,000. It's definitely greater. And how much greater? Remember, it was just one space away, one place value space away. So it is 10 times the value. So again, this is how we are comparing the values of our different digits.